And it's coming Saturday, June 9th. It's the How to Create the World Your Kid Needs Education Edition. And with us right now, we say hello to Lindsey Barr, joining us one more time on our show. She's got an amazing story. You've done amazing things in our community. The founder of World Changing Kids, and how about this guy as well? On the couch with you, Richard Fransham, a founding member, Uniting for Children and Youth. Nice to have you here as well.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to talk about both of your amazing organizations individually, then we'll get to this amazing day as well. Lindsey, first of all, that book, we've seen this before.
Yes. On
a Rogers Television, Plant a Garden of Kindness. So that obviously has something to do with World Changing Kids.
It does. This is how World Changing Kids started. 75 acts of kindness that kids can do in their community to make it a friendlier place. And I started with the idea of kindness when my kids were young, 2, 3, 4 years old, because that's how you start. It's the basic acts of kindness. But now it's getting into more social justice. And then I met Richard in Uniting for Children and Youth, and now I'm learning more about what we can do with the education system, changes we can make to give an environment where our children can thrive.
I'd say that's pretty important.
It is.
Okay, so Richard, over to you then. Okay, you were in education for 30 years. Congratulations on an amazing career. Now you are one of the founding members of Uniting for Children and Youth. So when did this organization come to be?
I retired from teaching and had been trying to do reform while I was in the system. Kind of came to a dead end, and I started doing volunteer work with Ecology Ottawa. And the system that they use for trying to bring about change just in the trenches, I thought that's what we need to do in education. And so I started OPRI to bring attention to a program that I ran when I was a teacher at Lester B. Pearson School, which really mirrors what's happening at John McCrae School in Barrhaven right now. A teacher there, Rebecca Chambers, is running an unlearn type program there that's meeting with a lot of success. But I found with this, I was just too much in isolation, that we needed a bigger group that was an umbrella for all kinds of activities going on for kids, and that's what led to the birth of Uniting for Children and Youth.
Okay. So, Lindsey, how did this collaboration come to be then? Both of you meeting? And
through a mutual friend named Sharon. And Sharon and I started talking about doing a panel workshop discussion, and then she said Richard had to be involved too.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Richard wasn't involved, it wasn't happening.
Yes, exactly.
He's just that good of a guy.
I wouldn't say that's true. I was at the Parent and Child Expo in Ottawa the weekend that Lindsey and Sharon were putting this together. And I got a phone call that weekend, and Sharon, who I know and trust, said, you should be doing this. So I said, okay, not knowing what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about it, I thought that's absolutely right, that we need to be working together on this. And
so, Richard, how long ago was that phone call then?
That was the April 22nd weekend that the expo was on.
Okay, so
not that long ago.
Okay, so you're telling me within the course of like a month-ish, you put this all together, and now this is coming up on June 9th.
Yeah, I'm kind of a tag-along on this.
Yeah.
And so Lindsey and Sharon and another lady, Amy, are the real driving forces.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we have a lot of people that are definitely interested in this kind of thing, who would like to have a chance to participate in a weekend like this, or a workshop like this.
Okay.
And so we'll be working hard to pull out as many as we can.
Okay. So, Lindsey, then give us your summary of exactly what is happening
of the event. Yep. So it's a panel discussion, 4 panelists, and then after the panelists speak, we're going to go into really intense workshops. So all the participants are going to select their workshop, we're going to do roundtable discussions, and we're going to look at how we as parents or any adult in a child's life who cares about their education, what we can do now, what steps we can take now. So an example I like to give is last year, my daughter's teacher applied for a pilot program to go to forest school. And they got approval, and they went to forest school for 6 weeks, and it was beautiful. We went out on a bus, far away, went to forest school. This year I heard they were doing it again, and I thought, oh, that's great. But then I learned they're not taking the bus, they're just walking to the forest down the street. And when you have a group of parents united together saying forest school was an awesome experience, that's the kind of education we want our children to have. When parents have that united voice, they can make change happen. Because then our teachers knew that we wanted it, our principal knew that they had the parent support, and so a change was made. So changes can be made from the top down, but that's going to be a bit slower, right? Like changing curriculum. But there's a lot we as parents can do from the ground up, and that's what I'm learning from Richard too. Like what are our options as parents? What can we be vocal about? And how can we make this better? How can we make education fit all of our children? Because right now, it doesn't fit
no, okay.
everyone.
And I love this because it's, I mean, it's not an intense day, Richard. I mean, it's a few hours.
Yep.
In your afternoon.
3 hours. Get
Okay.
the conversation going. Bring together people that are like-minded, that really want to work for change. So my contribution to this is to try to get the trustees, people running to be candidates for trustee in the fall, to come out to this, to get the people from Faculty of Education to come out to it, to get the school principals and other educators, people like Rebecca that are doing change right in the classroom, to get them out, so we can all pull together and start looking at ways to heal this situation that we have. The schools are not performing as we need them to perform. They're still caught in that old industrial style, and we want to get beyond that if we can.
Okay, Canterbury Community Centre, Saturday, June 9th from 1 to 4, worldchangingkids.ca or ucyottawa.com for details. But I need to get to this because we've got about 45 seconds left. You have some exciting news?
Yes, yeah. I have been approved to do an interactive media design project at Algonquin College. A team of students from that program are going to turn my book into an app this summer. So they're going to do the roadmap for it. So I had my first meeting last week. So exciting. I can't wait to share more about that.
And you just seem to have something coming up every week or so.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yeah,
Lindsey Barr and Richard Fransham, thank you very much for being here. Best of luck to your event.
Thank you.
Coming up next on Daytime Details, the Life Cycle Bike Ride. We've got all the details you need next on Daytime Ottawa.